Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV DREZZED. This is Neon. This is live. This is our podcast where we talk about a bunch of things that maybe don't warrant their own video. And we have a lot of a lot of big news. It's kind of crazy. So last night, I believe Trump designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. And now we've got the Fed looking into Twitch, Reddit, Discord, Steam, pretty much everywhere that people of a certain political affiliation tend to congregate and scheme and plot and plan. So this is going to be really interesting. One concern I have had about all of this, again, being a free speech guy, is that there's going to be a massive overcorrection. I think we've talked about it in videos, but yeah. So it's the blowback has been swift and severe, and now we're probably going to see ripples of that throughout the tech world. But again, anyone who has been paying attention, and we've been covering, the crazy activists on this channel for years, they know that they do tend to get together, I guess. I would say collude on Discord, especially Reddit, Twitch. So it's going to be pretty wild. A lot of people now who are in the comic book industry and the animation industry, I think they're going to want to clean up their social media presences a little bit, because I remember 4 years ago, that there were a lot of people openly saying that they were part of this organization, or, disorganization, depends on who you ask. But I think that the rabbit hole is going to go pretty deep. I don't know what the result of this is going to be, if there's going to be a huge crackdown on what you can and can't say on platforms like Twitch, Reddit, and Steam. But Discord especially. Like, look, if you want to clean up, I'm going to be honest, if you want to clean up CP on the internet, you go after Discord. Discord is awful. Like, and Blue Sky, I think, is another one. They haven't specifically mentioned Blue Sky, I don't think, but they're trying very, very hard to be like, hey, yeah, you can't wish for death on people, guys. Like, that's against the terms of service. I'm like, the fact that we have to spell out death threats being wrong in 2025 on social media, that you're not allowed to do that. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Why, let's see here. We'll show this one. Luigi, why, why is Blue Sky and Facebook not called to testify? That's a good question. Blue Sky, I think, is too new, and Zuckerberg is, Trump's bestie now. I think that's honestly what's going on. But I think the reason my personal opinion, the reason they're going after Reddit, Discord, and Twitch is that's where a lot of these people hang out, congregate, say very, very radical things. And they're probably looking into it because of the Charlie Kirk situation. And they're like, oh, this network extends to these platforms, because those are very, very left-wing platforms. And you're going to get people say stupid stuff. I mean, just casually surf any subreddit, in the related to animation or comics, and you will see people that are just absolutely batshit crazy, and they're allowed to do it and say whatever they want to without impunity. But now, or with impunity, sorry. And the federal ban hammer is coming. So we'll see, because these people, again, if the platforms have to turn over the DMs, and it shows that they're plotting things or wishing for death on people. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're gonna talk about all of this and see if we can make sense of it. I think this will probably end with at least Hassan and Destiny getting banned. And again, my big concern, in all of this, I know a lot of people are cheering it on, and I gotta admit, I've got some Schadenfreude, because Reddit doesn't like us very much. They keep lying about us, provably false too. But it starts with that, and I am concerned that there will be massive government overreach into what you can say online. And I think that as a result, of this, and Middle America is going to be totally cool with it because they're going to be like, well, we just want to be safe. We don't want to be afraid to wear a MAGA hat in public or whatever. So they're going to be like, yeah, it's cool. Just clamp down on free speech. My kids spend too much time online anyway. That's what I think is probably going to happen. That is my personal opinion. So good morning, everybody. We don't have a set time yet for live streams. Still working on it. We do a lot of other things. So we can't just like constantly, can't stream like 8 hours a day, 13 days a week. But yeah, let's take a look at what's going on here. So this comes from Aftermath. So of course, Aftermath is a site that's a whole bunch of gaming journalists from other platforms that lost their jobs or got gone or whatever. But so they're going to have a certain point of view, I'm sure. But we'll take a look. We'll take a look and see what's going on. Let's see. Oh, Destiny's banned on Twitch perma. Destiny get banned? Oh, let me see. I didn't know that. Did Destiny get banned? Let's look and see if Destiny got banned. Did he? Yeah, they're in big trouble. Oh yeah, Elon Musk says they're in deep trouble. I don't know. Did they get banned? Oh no, that was okay. I remember that. That was going around the other day. That was one Destiny actually put this up. Wait. No. Yeah, Destiny was already banned from Twitch in March 2022. Okay, and has not streamed the platform since. I think he's going to be. I missed that whole arc because I don't watch Destiny. I think they're going to probably clamp down that he's not going to be allowed to stream anywhere. I wonder if this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is like Hassan and Destiny, if the feds get involved, might be like you guys are on a federal level, not allowed to stream because you were like aiding, abetting, and goading on terrorism and terroristic threats. And again, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I think Hassan and Destiny are definitely inciting people to violence and radicalizing people. But if they start being like, yeah, you have a no stream, like instead of a no fly list, you're going to have a no stream list. Like you guys are, if you're on the no stream list, you are not allowed to stream or communicate or whatever. And the FCC could get involved in that. I could see that happening. That, again, these are just personal opinions. Just kind of reading the room. I could totally see the FCC being like, you're not allowed to be a broadcaster because you broadcast terroristic threats. So we'll see, because they're definitely the feds getting involved, which means I think again, just an opinion. I'm no expert on this, but just an opinion. I think if the Fed gets involved in streaming, and then you basically, if you're going to do news and commentary, which would also affect us, I mean, I'm going to be honest, then it might be that it sounds kind of crazy, but it might be that you have to be like vetted to be able to stream news and commentary opinion because they consider it news. I don't know where this ends. You know what I'm saying? Like they could be like, oh, you need like a streaming license or something. You need a background check to stream. I mean, it sounds crazy. I mean, it does, but they're cracking down really hard. And the reason we'll do a video later talking about the Jimmy Kimmel situation, do an update on that, but they're cracking down really hard on that. And Brendan Carr is getting involved in that. And he was basically making threats that either get, Kimmel off the air or I'm going to get him off the air. And I could see it. I could see that extending to news media too. Like I said, these comic book people, they really, really, really need to stop flying their black and white flags on social media. I'm just saying. Anyway, this comes from Aftermath. Let's see if we can make sense of what's going on here. U.S. Oversight Committee requests Discord, Steam, Twitch CEOs at online radicalization hearing for October 8th. So they're for the government, that's pretty quick. That's this is about as fast tracked as you can get. House Oversight and Government Reform Committee Chairman James Comer is summoning the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to Washington. A full committee hearing is scheduled for October 8th, at which Comer and the committee will ask Discord CEO, is it Human Saknini, Valve President, Gabe Newell. Oh my God, Gabe's getting summoned. Where's he going to dock his yacht? Where's he just like pull right into Washington? Twitch CEO Dan Clancy. Oh, I would love to hear what Dan Clancy has to say. And Reddit CEO Steve Huffman explain why actions they will take, or what actions they will take to ensure their platforms are not exploited for nefarious purposes. Okay, that, I mean, part of me is like, ha 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 ha, Reddit, ha ha ha, Twitch, and part of me is like, yeah, they're going to clamp down really hard on streamers just in general. I think that's going to be the result of this, because the problem with streaming, and this is kind of why I think YouTube deboosts it for some people, is you don't know what's going to be said. And you're basically broadcasting to millions of people potentially, and you don't know what's going to be said. So I could see them totally being like, and it's live too, right? So I could totally see them being like, if you want to go live, you have to go through background checks or something. Which this might be the most short-lived live streaming experiment ever. Then it might be like, oh yeah, Clownfish starts live streaming 2 weeks later. Clownfish needs a license to live stream, So the hearing will examine the radicalization of online forum users, including instances of open incitement to commit politically motivated acts, per the release in the wake of what Comer described as the politically motivated assassination of Charlie Kirk. Alongside the news release, the committee published the 4 separate letters it sent to each of the company's leaders. At the hearing, each person will be able to give a 5-minute opening statement before answering questions from committee members. Aftermath has reached out to the 4 companies for confirmation of their CEO's attendance. I really, really, really want to hear what Dan Clancy has to say, because Twitter is a platform for radicals and half-naked women. It is no longer a platform for gamers. And if you misgender somebody, you get thrown off of Twitch. If you call for someone to get harmed, you get more bits and super chats or whatever the hell they do over there. You get more members, right? I mean, that's what's crazy. That's what's so crazy about it is, I mean, at this point, it's not even like, oh yeah, it's just not evenly enforced. It's just like insane, the difference between how they enforce Twitch, rules, and if there are rules. I mean, you could be a half-naked woman, you can brush right up against the pornography thing. You can call for death or harm and fantasize about people's blood spilling all over the streets, Hassan, or Destiny, these guys, and they don't really do anything about it. Except Destiny has been banned. I guess he has been banned for a couple of years now, but it's crazy. I think they're going to be like, yeah, you're going to have a license to stream. That's going to be like the new Bond license to stream. So talk about Tyler Robinson, the suspect in the shooting death of Charlie Kirk, confessed to the crimes on Discord in a private chat with friends. This is what I tell people. I'm like, your DMs, your private chats are not actually private. And, so if you're colluding with people, or sending CP or doing anything like that in private on any social media platform, even on somebody's privately owned forum, you're playing a dangerous game, because there's no guarantee that at some point in time that platform, would be compelled, or they would be compelled to hand that over to the government, which we saw during, the other regime. And also, like, if it's a privately owned, message board or website or whatever, they sell it. Whoever buys that site has access to all that information, right? If you're talking shit about people and somebody's got an axe to grind with, this is what, what I'm saying? Like, don't say anything in a DM or a private message that you wouldn't feel comfortable with the feds looking at, because if you're doing that, you're playing a dangerous game, and people don't understand. Like, even your email, your Gmail. If you're sending threats through Gmail, you don't think that Google's got something that can flag that? You don't think that at some point in time, if it comes to it, the government can get those emails? Of course they can, right? Of course they can. Come on, you're very naive, but a lot of these people are dumb. Yeah, this is what I'm worried about, guys. I mean, I gotta tell you, they need to put a stop to the terrorism, and they need to put a stop to people who do make threats online. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to see this massive pendulum swing, and it's going to swing so hard the other way. People are going to, but again, middle America is going to be cool with it. They'll be like, you know what? I think the internet's kind of a bad thing. So yeah, if those people are saying mean things and I don't want my kids hurt, so we'll just shut everybody up. And that's that's what I think is gonna happen. They're gonna totally sign off on more censorship to protect people. And we gotta be very, very careful, especially when you have, Pam Bondi making the comments she was making. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Um, Anyway, yeah. So he joked about being a doppelganger. Discord set found no evidence. It's a suspect that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord. I'd like them to look into Discord more, because I guarantee you, like 90% of the stuff is being coordinated on Discord. 90% of the cancel culture was being promoted on Twitter, and that's why they all went to Blue Sky, because they thought they could do it over there on Blue Sky too. But all this shit was being planned on these platforms because most of the people planning this shit are too broke. They're too broke ass to buy their own hosting or anything. So they're stinking it up on these free services. And that's a whole nother issue. And I could talk about the correlation, I think, between what a service costs and the kind of audience that you attract. But I'll be nice. Discord and other gaming platforms have been thrust into the spotlight as authorities and lawmakers attempt to decipher an extremely online culture. Yeah, this is the problem. An extremely online culture that thinks everything's a damn video game, everything's a tweet, everything's a whatever, and people don't actually get hurt. They largely don't understand. That is true, because I saw this with and we'll talk about TikTok. I saw this with TikTok, that you have these like literal boomers. You had these literal boomers grilling the TikTok guy, and they clearly did not understand what the hell they were talking about. They were grilling Mark Zuckerberg, and they didn't understand what the hell they were talking about. And it's gonna be the same thing. They're gonna be like, "Oh, streaming's bad, ban it." Yeah, let's see here. Utah Governor Spencer Cox described Robinson as a person who's involved in the deep, dark internet, the Reddit culture. I remember Reddit culture just used to be a bunch of tech bros just talking about fixing computers and shit. I miss those days. Remember when things were so much easier? Like, I'm old, man. I've seen it all. I've been there since the beginning. And I remember if I needed any help with any technical question, I could go to Reddit. And now you go to Reddit, and like some terminally online crazy ass cartoon stand is going to call you a bigot for asking how to uninstall Windows or something. It's insane. It's white privilege because you can afford a computer. Yeah, it's crazy. These other dark places of the internet where the person was going deep. Reddit's not that deep. Reddit is not that deep, and Google is platforming Reddit. It's like literally like 90% of Gemini's search results come from Reddit. Reddit's the dark web now. There's clearly a lot of gaming. He said there was clearly a lot of gaming going on. Telling you, this is a double-edged sword, because now we're gonna have the right blaming gamers too. Gamers were useful, right? Remember when we were useful because we were against the censorship from the left? But I think again, we got to watch it, because if we have people that aren't tech savvy get involved in this, it's going to be crazy. Robinson was very, very big into gaming. Gaming and game-related platforms like Steam, Discord, and Twitch are used by millions of people daily, largely by people commiserating about their favorite game's latest bad update. They found that in 2021, Steam, Discord, and Twitch hosted extremist activity that ranged from racially abusive live streams to open support for neo-Nazis. Okay, I noticed the Aftermath did not mention the other side. We just mentioned one side. There's neo-Nazis. I'm like, yes. And there are also other domestic terrorists on there. And they won't say that. They won't say that now. So yeah, I'm concerned about it, but they're going to look into it. Mashable has Charlie Kirk murder, Steam, Twitch, Discord, Reddit CEOs summoned. Why no X? Well, because Elon was besties with Trump. And also X, I think they cleaned house when Elon bought it, and they got rid of a lot of the shit, I think. Okay, so why do I think it's not X? In this particular case, I think they're following the rabbit hole of where the shooter was, and all these people hate X because of Elon Musk, because it's gone more right-wing lately. So they're not going to look into X because they're going to be like, the shooter was not on X. The shooter was on Discord, Reddit, and also Reddit. Did we mention Reddit? Yeah, they were on Reddit an awful lot, and also Twitch, but Blue Sky is not mentioned, which is weird. So yeah, what they say about X. I said reactions poured in with users taking pot shots at the committee for not inviting Twitter and Facebook CEOs. I think they're just going wherever this particular cell group was. A gaming party. I don't know what they are. Furries, wherever they were at, and they weren't on Facebook because grandma uses Facebook, and they weren't on Twitter or X because Elon Musk and right-wing people, and they took over a platform. We hate them. Everybody rage quit Twitter. Steam over Twitter is actually a brain dead move. I agree with that. I think that's a very weird one, but they had to have found something. That's what I'm thinking is going on. They basically are going after the platforms that Tyler Robinson were using, in my opinion, and his friends. So this is, it's going to be very, Culture Crave, of course, is like going on about it. They said, yeah, we're growing Discord mods and gaming CEOs, but not the platform where an actual coup plan trended. Leaving X off the list makes the whole radicalization angle feel like cosplay. It's not the same platform. I mean, that's my counter to that is when Elon bought it, he basically turned Twitter into something else. Twitter no longer exists. I keep calling it Twitter. It no longer exists. They clean house. They fired a bunch of people. They got rid of a bunch of stuff. We had the Twitter files, the expose that the government was involved in Twitter, all that stuff. So that is my thinking why it's not involved. Because I don't think that the shooter was using Twitter. So who is this? Here we go. Read a couple super chats and we'll get back into it here. Who's the dude in the top left? I have no freaking idea. This is what I'm telling you. Live streams are dangerous. People can just like take over your channel and take over your channel and just start streaming hate speech. Thank you very much. Didn't have to do that. Let's see. Wombat 86. Thank you very much. Don't have to do that, but I appreciate it. I think Twitch is cooked, not enforcing terms of service evenly. Steam could just get rid of its forums. Reddit and Discord will have to have active monitoring of logs. Yeah, I think there's going to be a huge crackdown on forums, and this is something that people have wondered for a while. I know we talked about before that we actually run a bunch of websites, and when we did an overhaul on our websites, we actually took the comments off. And it wasn't because we're afraid of user comments. It's because I don't want to be responsible if somebody says something, because the way things are going now, like site owners are going to be responsible for, people posting garbage, and I don't want to clean it up. I don't want to have to hire somebody to clean it up. I don't want to deal with it. So you know what? You can read our stuff. I don't want you to leave a comment because I don't know what you're going to say, and I don't want to be responsible. It's not, from my point of view, it's not us trying to stifle free speech. It's just like, I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to get fined. I don't want to whatever. So, you can talk on social media about whatever. I don't want to be responsible for it. Thank you very much. Doge says, it's funny how Steven Universe thumbnails are used for any Dismal Cartoon Network videos. You should use Oi Primos for Dismal Disney Channel stuff. The problem is nobody knows Primos. Nobody knows that show because it came and went like a fart in the wind and nobody cares. So but thank you. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to talk about this later, Geeky and I, the Jimmy Kimmel situation. And, yeah, so it's pretty crazy. And a lot of people are threatening to boycott Disney now. And I'm like, only MAGA boycotted Disney last month. And now it's all, but that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I think is going to happen. I'm not even kidding. I know people think I'm being like ridiculous. I could see them classifying, Datboy22 says, I'm worried they're going to overcorrect and require a license to stream when all this could be solved by the platforms just enforcing their terms of service. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is they might, and this is just a theory on my part, but Brendan Carr is not messing around. If they require streamers to be held to the same standards as media, they could actually require people like us have an FCC license or something. I'm not even kidding. Because that might be where it's like, if you're going to broadcast on the airwaves or on the internet, that you have to get clearances and you have to be held accountable to the FCC. I could totally see that happening. And then the government gets to decide who gets to stream and who doesn't get to stream. And beyond that, the people that are in power now are not always going to be there. So if we set that precedent now, my concern is, if we get another regime that, let's just say we swing to the left again and they decide they don't want any right-wingers streaming at all, then, what I'm saying, you can just shut people up you don't like. And that is dangerous. I think that's very dangerous. And I think we're in, as far as the internet goes, we're kind of at a crossroads right now. And I don't know which way it's going to go. And the fact that we have a bunch of boomers making these decisions concerns me greatly. I got to be honest. I think they could very easily just toss a hand grenade into the internet, and that's, you're not allowed to say shit anymore, or the feds are going to come knocking on your door. That is concerning. And regardless of what you think about these people, regardless of what you think about they're talking, saying horrible things about, the Kirk assassination, whatever. We're in a very dangerous place when it comes to free speech, because, free speech gets clamped down on most often when people overreact. Is it the road to hell is paved with good intentions? Charlie Kirk was free speech, but the people that come next may not be. That's my concern. That is my concern. And I think anybody who's been paying attention should be concerned about that. I'm just saying. Warmillion here says, Discord will let people threaten each other with grape, but you can't say the F slur. Reset syndrome. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. May you live in interesting times. My son, I was talking to him the other day, and he's like, Dad, I've only lived in interesting times. I'm like, I know, and I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. It's been the last 5 to 8 years have been just absolutely insane. But yeah, Destiny was banned 2022. So this is Hassan, who actually did seem rattled by the death of Charlie Kirk. I don't know if because he was supposed to debate him. I don't think if he really thought this, if I say these things, somebody might take me very literally and go do something that I've talked about doing and I'd like to do, but I'm not going to do it because to me it's a joke. To somebody else, it's not a joke. So yeah, this is coming from the Times of India, so it's not really, the English is not fantastic, but they said, yeah, the broadcaster is confronted with his past statements, the supposed violent discord that critics love to speak of in a recent appearance on Australia's flagship program, September 17th. During the interview, Sarah Ferguson confronted Piker about comments he made about landlords. Yeah, that they should all, get gone. She quoted the words he used to incite violence. You said, this is what he said. YouTube, if you're listening, this is not me. This is Hassan Piker. Kill them, murder them, let the streets soak in their red capitalist blood. Doesn't that make you part of the problem? Ferguson said. He said, it was not meant to be sincere. It was a joke, bro. It was a joke. This was in a conversation I was having with a landlord friend of mine. It's, of course, hyperbolic, and it's not meant to be sincere. This is not sincere advocacy. It's not a real policy that I would ever advocate for, and that's precisely the reason why when Republicans were so desperately looking for any sort of incisive language that they could present, they went back to a very obvious instance of LARPing, an insincere statement that is obviously hyperbolic from 2018. Yeah, but it's not the only time he's said stuff like this. Can you imagine if somebody on the right said that about people, anybody, especially a protected group? Can you imagine what would happen? Oh my God, you'd be canceled immediately. You'd be thrown off of every social media platform, or you would have been. So yeah, they're definitely going to clamp down pretty hard, I think, on all this stuff. So I don't know, guys. It's gonna be a very interesting couple of months. Mutant Banhammer says Geeky's gonna grace us with her presence on stream. Yeah, she will eventually. We're still trying to get something resembling a schedule going on here. And I was thinking mornings, but I'm not sure how many people are around in the morning. I'm gonna be honest. It might be morning, might be evening. I don't know. We stream when we can. Like I said, we have other businesses, so it's kind of hard for us to nail down a schedule here. But yeah, it's going to shut a lot of people down. Okay. The left's already doing it. Yeah, they are. They are. That's a whole that and I don't know. Is Neon actually wearing his Pac-Man t-shirt? No, I'm not. I do have a Pac-Man t-shirt. I'm not wearing my Pac-Man t-shirt. People were disappointed they actually look like my avatar. I'm like, why wouldn't I? I mean, I guess I could be a waifu or something. I mean, I don't know. It's very weird. People are like, oh my God, you actually look like you. I'm like, yeah, it's sorry to disappoint everybody. I'm sorry to disappoint. Freezing Toad, thank you. Did not have to do that. These left-wingers are calling to lower the temperature because they've realized they could be targets too because they're scared. Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. Geeky and I are going to talk more about the Jimmy Kimmel situation because it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I said mean things about Trump. And then at this point, it's just like, all you had to do was be normal and not kill people. And now, it's gonna cause problems for everybody, right? Everybody. So, thank you very much for that. So this is, I guess this is all kind of related. South Park creators are announcing a major episode update. This one's on us. They're not going to air an episode this week. And people think it might have been because they were going to do a Charlie Kirk episode. Because they had him in the episode a couple of weeks ago, and they think they might be self-censoring because they're like, oh, shite, yeah, we don't want to do that right now. That might have even been Paramount. Paramount might have been like, yeah, don't air that episode. Because these guys, South Park, they put the episodes together in like a week or two. So I could totally see them having a whole like Cartman, Charlie Kirk episode in the bag, and then this happens, and then they're like, oh my God. So, but now we got to come up with something else. This is coming from, where's this come from? The Mirror, trusted bastion of journalism. South Park has made a major announcement involving new episodes of the popular series after one was pulled from the air in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. Show creators Trey Park and Matt Stone thanked fans as they admitted it was on us that the planned episode for September 17th would not go ahead. And they said, apparently, when you do everything at the last minute, sometimes you don't get it done. No, I don't think that's what's going on. I think they have more Charlie Kirk stuff in there, and if he actually thought it was funny, if I remember correctly, he thought it was funny. But I think they have more Charlie Kirk stuff in there, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna get in trouble. That's my personal opinion. I don't know, but that's one thing that's going on. They said apparently, when you do it at the last minute, they said thanks to Comedy Central and South Park fans for being so understanding. Tune in next week. Fans of the animated series took to X to react to the news with one writing. They gave an honest explanation, and fans will probably take it with understanding. Second shared, it's a bummer that the episode of South Park got delayed, but I appreciate the honesty. Looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Yeah, this is what I think is going on. That is my personal opinion, is that they were going to make more Charlie Kirk jokes, and they're like, yeah, we can't do that right now. A third quip, South Park sucks. South Park hasn't been, some people saying in the comments, they said that South Park hasn't been a both sides thing in a while. They've definitely been going pretty hard at the Trump administration. Before it was Mr. Garrison, and now they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna, just do the whole thing. They said, well, Kirk initially found the episode of the second season funny. Some attributed the episode, coupled with the tone of the show, as contributing to his death. I don't know about that, but if they were going to use, Cartman as Kirk again, then yeah, that's probably why they pulled it. I said, yeah, Cartman was seen attending a ceremony and giving out the Charlie Kirk Award for Young Master Debaters. Following his murder, Comedy Central pulled the planned repeat from the lineup, but left it available for streaming. On August 7th, day the episode aired, Charlie Kirk said on TikTok he found it funny. Thought it was hilarious. That's what I think is going on. I think we're going to see a lot of self-censorship from the media because they're scared to death that they're going to get pulled off the air. So we're going to see a lot of self-censorship. And it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing how fast everything changed. I mean, we're talking a couple of months. Well, a couple of months. I mean, it's almost a year, I guess. No, yeah. I don't have it. I don't have any concept of time. Ask my wife. I have no concept of time whatsoever. But it's been, not even a year into Trump's second term, and like everything is swinging hard right now. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm going to be honest. I'm hoping we don't have another satanic panic going on, except this time it's going to be Labubu's instead of D&D. It's going to be like, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, this is the thing. They picked the right target or the wrong target, depending on who you ask. Whatever the thought process was, it definitely galvanized people, pissed people off, and is going to give boomers all the permission they need to clamp down on things they don't like. And that's what I'm afraid of. Labubus. Wait, what's this? Labubus. Hold on. I saw Labubus. Labubus are not satanic. Anyone who says so is a hysteric. Yeah, that's what we were joking about, though, is the Labubu thing reminds me very much of like everything I don't like is satanic. Mortal Kombat is going to lead to violence. Like people are going to actually rip off people's arms and beat them with them, rip off their heads and all this stuff. And that, of course, didn't happen, but it's crazy. What is a Labubu? Someone wants to know what a Labubu is. Hold on. We'll look Labubu. We'll look up a Labubu. We did a video about it. I don't know if anybody, here, what are these? This is a Labubu. It's an ugly ass rabbit thing from China, or Thailand. I don't know where. Anyway, and people think they're demonic because teeth, I guess. And it was like a TikTok thing. They were like, oh yeah, the Labubus are demonic and they're gonna like eat your children's souls. And they go for a lot of money on eBay. That's what they are. Yeah, they're pretty hideous. They're like really ugly ass Monchichis. Monchichis are terrible too. I like Monchichis. All right, what else we got here? Let's see, TikTok. We'll talk about TikTok. I guess we can talk about TikTok. Cartoon Brew had it. TikTok ban is averted as U.S. and China strike agreement. Again, this is another thing that people were worried about with TikTok, but I think TikTok will clamp down on speech over there as well, because we have people again celebrating death. So here's what's going on with that. Trump delays TikTok ban again as deal takes shape. All right, Trump on Tuesday extended for the fourth time the deadline for when TikTok must be separated from its Chinese owner ByteDance or face a ban in the U.S., according to the New York Times. The extension to mid-December could be Mr. Trump's last for the video app. He and other officials said this week that they had reached a framework for a deal with China to address national security concerns about ByteDance and its ties to Beijing. We have a deal on TikTok. We have a group of very big companies that want to buy it. He set to speak on Friday with China's top leader, Mr. Pu, on Friday to confirm everything. Details of the framework have begun to emerge. ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns TikTok, would spin out the app's American operations to a new company. Yeah, it's going to be most of the companies that I looked at the list. I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm talking about with the censorship, because most of the companies that will have an ownership stake in TikTok, a lot of them are more right-wing companies like Oracle. And so I don't know if that's going to change TikTok. I mean, TikTok is worthless without the algorithm, but they're talking they might keep the algorithm now. So we'll see. We don't do much on TikTok, and I'm like, I don't even understand what the point of doing a lot on TikTok is, because they were going to shut it down. People are like, why aren't you on TikTok? I'm like, one, I feel like I'm too old to be on TikTok, and two, they're going to shut it down. Let's see here. We got another super chat. We'll get that. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't have to do that. Fun question. Where are you going to play the He-Man fan game that looks exactly like the show and the official He-Man beat up coming out? The fan game, actually, Geeky and I were talking about playing it a couple of months ago, and then we got sidetracked. We need to do that. That'd actually be a lot of fun. The official game, it's coming out from Limited Run Games, and I'm not a fan of Limited Run Games because for those of you who don't know the whole story with what happened with Limited Run Games, they fired their social media manager, their community manager, because she said she was excited about Hogwarts Legacy, and she followed the wrong people on Twitter. She didn't do anything, and she didn't do or say anything inflammatory. There was the person that got her canceled was actually the person that started BronyCon, who has a history of harassing people online, and they were working with Limited Run Games, so they got her fired. They pushed and got her fired. They went back and found a tweet from like 10 years ago or something about trans people using bathrooms, and then they used that to get her fired and tried to paint her as like a bigot, homophobe, Nazi, whatever. So no, I won't buy anything from Limited Run Games. I used to buy a lot of stuff from Limited Run Games. And I won't buy anything from them now, even if the He-Man game looks really good, because I'm like, you guys, that was a shit move. And I'm allowed to do that, right? I'm allowed to say, hey, I don't want to. But the fan game, maybe. Thank you. Didn't have to do that. Joppy, 1992. The danger of political violence is it going back and forth. Yes. The murder of Kirk was recent, so if it escalates as revenge against the other side, then the question becomes where it stops. Not to get too dark on this show, but I am concerned. I'm really concerned. And that was my first reaction after the shock wore off, was like, what happens next? Because even if you've got Republican leaders or right-wingers being like, yeah, Charlie wouldn't want this, doesn't mean somebody isn't out there using it as a means to justify their position. And like, look, there's just a lot of people out there that want violence or that are itching for a civil war on both sides of the aisle. And I'm like, I don't know where it goes next. And I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope to God I'm wrong on this, but I don't know. I do believe that there probably will be some kind of reaction, and God help us all if that's the case. I mean, really, this is America. I don't want to turn it into, like, I remember growing up in the 80s and as a kid hearing about all the stuff going on in Ireland, and I'm not even gonna pretend to understand Irish politics, but I remember hearing about it all the time, because anytime Bono was on MTV, he would talk about that, like saving the whales, and that's what I'm kind of afraid of. Hopefully we don't go there. But thank you very much. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Reactor Core, thank you very much. If Gabe testifies to Congress, I hope they ask him about Half-Life 3. The best case scenario is he announces Half-Life 3 release date in front of the nation. That would be amazing. He just like parks his yacht, like sails his yacht down the streets of Washington somehow, gets off the boat, saunters in and says, hey, yeah, Half-Life 3. Yeah, it's available today on on Steam. Go buy it, $49.99. There it is. That would be amazing. I'd be down. I'd be down with that. Half-Life Alyx should have got, like, it didn't get Game of the Year. A couple places gave it props, but it should have gotten Game of the Year. That was an amazing game. I know it was kind of short, but it really was the first VR game that felt like an actual game and not a tech demo. It was really, really good. So hopefully we get Half-Life 3. There we go. All right. So we got, yep, that's okay. People are like, oh, we're jumping ship because other people are streaming. That's okay. I'm not offended. I'm really not. I'm really not. Yeah. So the TikTok thing, we'll talk about Vimeo here. And then we'll talk about UFOs. And I think I'll probably wrap it up. This one, mostly I wanted to talk about what was going on with Twitch. Variety has Vimeo to be acquired for $1.38 billion in cash by Italian tech firm Bending Spoons. So remember Vimeo? Does anybody use Vimeo? Vimeo is going private. The video platform, at one time a would-be competitor to YouTube, has agreed to be acquired by European tech company Bending Spoons for an all-cash deal valued at $1.38 billion. It's actually not a lot of money in tech speak. Vimeo was actually a competitor to YouTube at one point in time. Vimeo, Dailymotion, And it's just like in typical Google fashion, they choked off all the competition. And I think, unfortunately, unless there's some course correction, I think that Odyssey and Rumble are going that way too. I think we need a YouTube competitor just to keep YouTube honest, because if Google has all the cards, we know how that goes. And we're seeing it right now that, but Bending Spoons in Italy has acquired a number of digital technology businesses lately: Evernote, Issue, Meetup, Rimini, Stream. Oh, they bought StreamYard. Is that why it's broken now? Well, damn, I was just complaining to my wife this morning. I'm like, I can't, everything I had set for StreamYard was broken. So I'm like, is that what happened? Okay, Splice and WeTransfer. Okay, I use like half of those. The company claims its products are currently being used by more than 300 million people each month. Bending Spoon's acquisition of Vimeo, which was unanimously approved by Vimeo's board of directors. Yes, please buy us. We can't compete. It's expected to close in Q4 of 2025. Once it closes, Vimeo will be private. They're no longer going to be listed on any public stock exchange. I didn't know they were anyway. I had no idea. Really, the only people that are using Vimeo now are like filmmakers, independent filmmakers. That seems like who's using it mostly. Like nobody uses it. Oh, thank you, Rudy. Thank you. Super sticker. Thank you very much. Didn't have to do that. Yes, I don't know what's going on here. Vimeo had once made a play as a general video platform, and even once planned to launch a subscription streaming service that was positioned as Netflix for indie filmmakers. That's what I see it being used for. A lot of times, like if you back film projects on Kickstarter or something, that they will go to Vimeo with it. Last week, Vimeo announced it was laying off 10% of its employees. There's going to be more layoffs. Bending Spoons, that's a weird name. They're going to make ambitious investments in Vimeo's business in the U.S. and other priority markets. Yeah, we've got to have a YouTube competitor, and I don't know even how you would do it at this point. But YouTube, and we talked about last night, they're making it very, very easy to walk away, I think, for a lot of people, if there's any viable option, because they keep messing with the algorithm. And they keep messing with things, and it's not a very good experience for creators at this point. Then they keep blaming the creators. It's like, it's a you problem. I know everybody took a hit to their views at about the same time, but it must be your content. Have you tried listening to our AI chatbot 2000 to determine which content you should produce? Content bot. There we go. So yeah, Vimeo sold. And then did you guys see this? I'll wrap it up with this. Kind of running a little bit behind this morning, so we're not going to stream too long. But in China, apparently there was they think it was a UFO, but it was, they said, a viral video earlier in the year claimed a Hellfire missile targeted UAP, which you guys, I think, saw that. It was like an orb, and they hit it and it spun. It was actually, but now they said over the weekend in China, they hit something with a missile. So this is on TikTok. If I can run it here, it's not going to let me. There we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted. What is this crap? That's why I don't like going to TikTok, man. Let's hit this. Let's hit refresh on this. All right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so it looks like a meteor, then boom, they hit with a missile. See that again. Boom. What is going on? It said clips of the incident soon spread across Chinese social media platforms. One post on X claimed China yesterday successfully intercepted a meteor that was going to crash into a Shandong province. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Others wondered aloud whether the spectacular display was less about planetary defense and about testing advanced weapons. Like if you try to hit us with a missile, we're going to take it down. UFO or missile test. According to Ms. News, experts and online analysts said they had different opinions of what it was. Some suggested the event looked remarkably like a missile intercept exercise. World Journal highlighted analysis that the glowing orb could have been a simulated target missile. Military observers argued that if China's defense system had indeed demonstrated such precision, it would signal significant advances in terminal anti-missile technology. Don't shoot me, bro. Official explanations remain elusive in China. Really? They said they had other UFO sightings in was it Fujian province? Same evening, they had unusual lights moving across the night sky, and that follows the Hellfire video. I am wondering. I mean, if it's not alien technology, if it's just really advanced technology from someplace else, some other country, and everybody's kind of freaking out about it. I wonder if there's like a secret war going on with all these UFOs and stuff, but it's all like China versus Russia versus America versus, whoever's got this technology. I don't know. It's really interesting stuff, though. We'll wrap it up here pretty quick. Thank you very much. You didn't have to do that. It's simpler than you think to compete with YouTube, says Joppy. It's too big to compete with by trying to do the same thing, so the only way they can compete is through sheer innovation. Yeah, I don't know. I could see, I mean, if they're buying Vimeo and they have StreamYard, I could see them maybe like meshing it up somehow. But like what? So what are you going to do? We've got live streams and you've already got, Twitch for now and Kick and like every other platform you can live stream on. So that's not exactly groundbreaking. You have to give people, you're right. You have to give people a reason to go to that platform. Well, you've already got live streaming elsewhere. You can already post pre-recorded video elsewhere. You can already post. And like Spotify is getting into that too. You can post videos over there if it's podcast content, right? So like everybody lets you post videos. Rumble, all those guys, Odyssey, they all let you post video. But YouTube's the biggest. So yeah, you would have to do something really innovative to get people to go there instead of YouTube. And I don't know what you could do. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, if I knew what you could do, I'd be a billionaire because you have to not only get people over there, but get them to break what is in some cases a 20-year habit to go over there because everybody just kind of goes to YouTube. So it's just like Google, like you could have a legit competitor for Google, but you would have to get people to break the habit of just Googling something. And back in my day when I first started online, Google wasn't even a thing. And we had multiple search engines and you would, certain search engines were better for certain things and other ones were. But now everything's AI anyway. But people are using ChatGPT as a search engine, basically. So I mean that is kind of changing things too. So I don't know, guys. It's I'd like to see a competitor. He says as he streams on YouTube. I think we have to have competition because, again, if we're going to see a clampdown on free speech or whatever, you got to have you got to have a backup plan, and then backup plan for that backup plan. That's one thing I learned in tech is, you got to back it up on this server and then also have this server and then this server over here in another country, just in case, just in case something happens. This is just kind of how it works. So anyway, let me make sure I got everybody here before we go. Plans B through Z. I believe 100%. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. We've got more videos coming today. Go out to maybe I'll just pull that up here. News.clownfishtv.com. Sign up for our free newsletter. We do have paywalled content. I have a bunch of episodes I got to get up. I'm trying to get some help over here. We're just like really swimming in it over here the last couple months. But go out to news.clownfishtv.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll be notified when we post new videos. Let me see here. So that's actually working out really well because people are like, oh yeah, I missed this video or whatever, but it doesn't cost anything. Like I said, we have paywall content out there. We're going to do more. We're going to actually start a couple of new podcasts that are going to be Substack exclusive. So you guys will get those if you pay. And it's like $5 a month. It's not super expensive. And we're trying to keep it low. Substack wanted us to charge like $8 or $10 a month. I'm like, I don't think we're worth $8 or $10 a month yet. But I appreciate the vote of confidence, right? But yeah, if you go out to news.clownfishtv.com, we're putting all of our content over there instead of doing. We were using a service that was called Fourth Wall to do memberships. We did that for about a year, and it confused the hell out of everybody. So I'm like, let's just do. Everybody else is on Substack. I don't want to do Patreon because I think they're very censorious. Is that a word? I just made that word up, I guess. But Substack seems to be working pretty good. So check it out. News.clownfishtv.com. I think, do we have a couple more coming through here? I don't want to miss anybody. Again, thank you, Joppy, and have to do that. There is a new opportunity coming in the future. YouTube already got limited support for it, but AV1 is the future of video content online, whether it be uploaded videos or streams. Yeah, so maybe that's, I don't know, like a new format or something. There has to be something. There has to be something. Twitch took off because you would do live streams and you could interact with people, and then everybody else started doing it too. And in some cases, they're doing it better, but people still go to Twitch out of habit, and also activism. Pokemon says, now that I have a face to the voice, you look like a skinny young version of John Goodman. Do I? I'm not that fat. I'm not fat. I just have a fat face. So maybe I do. I look like post weight loss, or no, yeah, it would be post weight loss John Goodman, but like 30 years ago, I guess. I don't know. There you go, guys. Well, thank you. I guess. I mean, he's pretty famous, right? There we go. People say I look like Kelsey Grammer too. I don't see that. I don't see Kelsey Grammer at all. I don't see it either, but I appreciate that. I guess. Unless you're liking John Goodman's the ugliest man on earth. I'm like, yeah, okay. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Thanks so much for stopping in again. We don't have a schedule yet. Leave a comment. Oh, I missed your super chat. Hold on. Oh, okay. No, I didn't see it. See, I'm not good at this, guys. Here we go. This one. So you're too fast. You're too fast for me. Okay. The problem is we have two solid YouTube competitors. The issue is people will not move over to other platforms. They'd rather complain about YouTube. Yeah. Well, we've been on Rumble for a while. People don't realize that. We've actually been on Rumble for probably 3 years now. But Rumble, the problem with Rumble is it's mostly a live streaming platform. And if you're not talking hard politics, you don't get seen. That's the truth. And I like Rumble. I do. I think it's got a lot of potential, but if your videos aren't, again, if you're not streaming and your stuff's not pinned to the front page, you're only going to get maybe 1,000 views, 2,000 views at the most. You almost have to get front paged, and it's kind of, you know, and again, that's not saying it's a bad platform, but it definitely Rumble has definitely become the right-wing Twitch from my perspective. So if you're not streaming, I don't think you really get seen over there. That's just an opinion. Odyssey has a lot of potential. We started mirroring on Odyssey because of what was going on with YouTube. I'm like, you know, just to kind of hedge our bets a little bit, we'll try it. What have we got to lose? And I think it's a good platform. I think it's a really good platform. Nobody goes there. But it functionally, it's nice. It kind of reminds me of old school YouTube, but with like kind of a crypto bent to it. Yeah. I mean, I could take or leave, but, it's a good platform. Nobody knows about it. A lot of people didn't even know it still was a thing. I remember people talking about when they were banning conservatives off of YouTube, and they were like, you need to go to Odyssey. And everybody kind of went to Odyssey, and then everybody kind of, once they started letting conservatives on YouTube again, then they just kind of like stopped talking about it. So yeah, it was very, very weird. All right. So do I have everybody now? I want to make sure I got everybody now. Because it is not starring all of these chats. Let me see here. I'm going to go down, and I'm very sorry if I missed anybody. Yeah, it's not starring everybody's chats like I thought it was supposed to. Okay, AV1, John Goodman, and I'm very sorry. I missed your super chat. Neon is hotter. I know. She's cheating on me with, it's like Jem. She's cheating on her husband with Neon. It's the radio voice, right? That's what does it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, we don't really plan these. We just kind of do them. We're going to get a schedule. I just don't know what's going to work. But please subscribe. You know the drill. Yada, yada, yada. News.clownfishtv.com. And we'll talk later. Thanks, everybody.